Good day, everyone. We are the reporters of Grove 5. First reporter, Emmy. Second, Junelle. Third, Geraldine. Fourth, Kyla. Our discussion in this video is all about the global city. Learning objectives. At the end of this lesson, you should be able to explain why globalization is a spatial phenomenon, identify the attributes of a global city, and analyze how cities serve as engines of globalization. Sociologist Saskia Sassin popularized the term global city in the 1990s. So, ang criteria ni Sassin for what makes up a global city is a primarily economic aspect kung unsaon pag-develop sa usa ka lugar. Mauna iyang basis para mailan niya nga kani nga lugar is cities. Saskia was able to produce books. So isa sa mga na-produce niya nga book kay ang The Global City. And then in that book, she initially identified three global cities, which is New York, London, and Tokyo. The three global cities, they are the center of global finance and capitalism around the world. Sila ang mga nauna minti, but ang top one niya is ang New York, second Tokyo, and London. So ang mga investors diri sila nag-buy and sell sa ilang mga shares because majority of major corporation can be found on these cities. Like this, New York has the New York Stock Exchange, London has the Financial Times Stock Exchange, and Tokyo has the Nikkei. Correction lang, Nikkei, not nickel. So this is the examples. Recent commentators have expanded the criteria that Sassin used to determine what constitutes a global city. Movie-making Mika Los Angeles can now rival the Big Apple's cultural influence. San Francisco must now factors in as another global city because it is the home of the most powerful internet companies like Facebook, Twitter, and Google. The growth of Chinese cell economy has turned cities like Shanghai, Beijing, and Guangzhou into centers of trade and finance.
Indicators of globality. The foremost characteristic of a global city is economic power. Economic power largely determines which cities are global. Economic opportunities is a global city make it attractive to talents from across the world. To measure the economic competitiveness of a city, the Economic Intelligence Unit has added other criteria like market size, purchasing power of citizens, size of middle class, and the potential for growth. So the word tiny. Singapore is considered as Asia's most competitive city because of its strong market, efficient and incorruptible government, and reliability. Global cities are also centers of authority. Washington, D.C. may not be as wealthy as New York, but is the seat of American state power. So, in this passage, emphasizes the importance of economic power in shaping a city's global status, but also acknowledges the role of other factors such as market size, purchasing power, and political influence. So why study global cities? Globalization is spatial, which means, number one, globalization is spatial because it occurs in physical spaces. More people are driven out of city centers to make way for the new development. So, this displacement of people from city centers due to development projects highlights how globalization's effects are not abstract but manifest in concentrate changes to physical spaces and communities. It demonstrates the uneven distribution of globalization's benefit and cost. So in number two, globalization is spatial because what makes it move in is the fact that it is based in places. So it focuses on the temporal aspects of globalization, neglecting the crucial role of physical location and its development and spread.
Massive inequality was very pronounced in cities. Some large cities, particularly those in Scandinavia, have found ways to mitigate equality through state-led social redistribution program. Yet many cities, particularly those in the developing countries, are cities of contradiction. In places like Mumbai, Jakarta, and Manila, it is common to find learning buildings alongside massive shantytowns. In the outskirts of New York and San Francisco are four urban enclaves occupied by Africans and immigrant families who are often denied opportunities of a better life. Gentrification, a phenomenon of driving out the poor in favor of newer, wilder residents in the Australian cities, for Aboriginal Australians have been most acutely affected by gentrification. In, in France, poor Muslim migrants are forced out of Paris and have closed around ethnic enclaves near known value. In most of the world, global cities, the middle class is also thinning out. Globalization creates high-income jobs that are concentrated in global cities. In places like New York, there are high-rolling American investment bankers whose children children are raised by Filipino maids.
The challenges of global cities. Global cities also have their undersides. They can be sites of great inequality and poverty as well as tremendous violence. Global cities create winners and losers. Denser settlement patterns yield energy savings. Apartment buildings, for example, are more efficient to heat and cool than detached suburban house. In cities with extensive public transportation system, people tend to drive less and thereby cut carbon emissions. Not all cities are as dense as New York or Tokyo. Some cities like Los Angeles are urban sprawls with massive freeways that force residents to spend money on car and gas. Urban areas consume most of the world's energy. Cities only cover 2% of world's landmass, but they consume 78% of global energy. Therefore, if carbon emissions must be cut to prevent global warming, these massive energy consumptions in cities must be curbed. The major terror attacks of recent years have also targeted cities, especially those with global influence are obvious target for terrorists. 9/11 attack. World Trade Center, New York. November November 2015 attacks in Paris by Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant